Go to flexshopper.com today.
Pac-12 Beach Volleyball Championships, 9 teams, 1 title. USC, the 2-time defending champ. Who wins it in 2018? The Conference of Champions comes to the farm to award yet another title. It is the Pac-12 Beach Volleyball Championship. From the beautiful Stanford Beach Volleyball Stadium in Stanford, California, we have reached the final duel of the winner's bracket in day 1. SC and Cal already through to tomorrow. Stanford as well, the home side, with a victory 4-1 over Arizona just moments ago. And now the #1 team in the nation ready to take the stand against Utah. Welcome inside once again, Kevin Barnett alongside Olympic silver medalist Mike Dodd. And Mike, we now get to see a team in UCLA, #1 team in the Pac-12, #1 team in the nation. They have not lost since March 3rd of this year.
Yeah, 26-match win streak. They're missing a very talented #3 player, Zanamuno, but the other pairs are so talented and so deep that it doesn't seem to slow this UCLA machine down much.
Utah coming off an earlier victory against Oregon, acquitted themselves well. They have some outstanding athletes.
Yeah, Anae and Danny Barton in particular, they were very impressive in the ones earlier against Oregon, and I'm looking forward to seeing that matchup later on in the second flight.
If you're unfamiliar with how it works, let us inform you. This is how a beach volleyball tournament format goes. 5 pairs will take the stand. It's best 3 of 5 in those duels or in those matches. If you win the duel. So your first flight's going to be 4 and 5. Theoretically, your worst pairs, and then you have 1, 2, and 3 who will all play at once on a 4-court facility like we have here. There it is, #1 UCLA Bruins against #8 Utah Utes, 5 and 10 on the year. Very different approaches for these two teams. Just as you look at the records, 31 and 3 for the UCLA Bruins. Utah using this as an augment to their indoor program. UCLA is a whole separate beach volleyball unit.
Yeah, UCLA is really kind of the window of the future, if you want to say, for what collegiate women's volleyball is going to look like. You're going to have more and more athletes specializing in beach volleyball, and you'll have the occasional remarkable, you know, Catherine Plummer, a player like that can come and play indoors and beach. But right now, the trend is towards full-time beach players.
26 matches in a row, 26 duels in a row is what it has been for UCLA as they open that with a point easily. As you look at the matchup at the #4, Berkeley Oblad, #12 in red, alongside Laura Gauta at #5. Well, look out for Gauta to heat it up when she gets offensive opportunities.
Yeah, again in the earlier match, Gauta was very impressive with her movement on the court, her anticipation defensively, and once she did dig, the way she could rise up and finish in transition. Good leaper, good arm swing.
Elise Zappia and McNamara on the court for UCLA. And there's a wrist-away kill from Zappia.
Real nice job from McNamara that time, turning in the opposite direction off of the net, setting that dug ball from Zappia in transition perfectly. Very nice, sophisticated move for McNamara, a very good indoor player.
McNamara out of Iowa. An outstanding indoor pipeline there out of Iowa. Players starring for Creighton, UCLA, and others. There is McNamara showing some beach craft on her first attempt.
Yeah, a pretty little chop down.
A service now from #1.
Real nice jump float into the wind.
Putting it right in between the Utah Utes. And again, this time working on Gauta. She will go line. Nicely done by Laura Gauta, junior out of Garden Grove, California, transferred out of Northwest Community College in Wyoming. She's the National Player of the Year.
Yeah, that was a really nice wrist away from the bad side. That's tough to do. And Gauta's got some serious game. No doubt about it.
And you'll get a feel for it the first couple times she gets all in rhythm and offense.
And 4-3 UCLA on court number 3.
Zappia just long. So at least Zappia misses that one, although the steadiest player on this team out of Huntington Beach, senior.
A lot of beach experience for Zappia. Played a lot of tough matches in her time at UCLA.
Brother John played for UCLA at 1.2 on the indoor side. Bad set. Zappia still makes a point of it.
Experienced player. Again, Zappia is kind of, again, a reflection of how the trend is in collegiate beach volleyball, with more and more great young players entering the fray. Zappia, in her earlier years at UCLA, was playing on the 1s and 2s. Now she's a steady 4. And that's just a reflection of how much talent has come into UCLA in her 4 years there.
Well, you can switch Zappia between partners. It doesn't seem to make much of a difference for her.
So steady.
Berkeley Oblad, you see the size of Oblad. She can make a difference. Service line as well, same as we talked about with the 6'4".
Yeah, that was just a nasty floaty into the wind. Just hard to really buffer the ball and control it when it's moving that much.
Yeah, we saw Courtney Bowen hitting that serve effectively for Stanford just a bit ago, as Oblad has that one go past her. Oblad's a middle blocker. You'll see teams try and work on her in service reception.
Yep. Wow, tough serve.
Oh, Zappia, the double axe handle goes a little awry.
And you could see on that play when Oblad mispassed that ball high and toward the back of the court, it was really difficult. The good side can turn into the bad side so quickly, and Zappia just wasn't able to control that easier play.
Zappia controls that one, sends it into the crowd.
Well, Zappia in that little series there did a really nice job of hitting on the right side with the wind blowing from behind her. That's not easy to do, and she really moved the ball around well during that series of play, those 7 points.
Coach is saying about Elise, listen, if it's a deuce set, if it's a close pressure situation, you don't want to be across the net from this player. Ooh. Ace serve right there.
And here's what we're going to see where UCLA is really going to try to put pressure on Oblad, serving that tough, floaty cross court straight into the teeth of the wind right now as it's blowing.
Yeah, once again, another ace back-to-back misses for the service reception of Berkeley Oblad.
And you know what? It's tough, but that's the difference between indoor and beach. There's no place to hide. There's no sub to come in to take you off. Your partner can scooch over a little bit and try to relieve the pain, but right now, this is just something that a player like Oblad just has to kind of go through, and Berkeley's a tough-minded player, and she's been playing really well in the first round, and there's a good pass right there.
Good pass, but the block of McNamara is there, and now the run continues for UCLA. 12-6, they've doubled up on Utah. Time for a timeout.
Yeah, good timeout for Utah, and then it's just, boy, when the wind really starts to howl and you end up at the wrong side at the right time, it's really a tough situation.
A timeout there as it's 12-6, and that is in the 4s. We'll slide over to the 5s where Brianna Doehrmann and Lauren Sproule are taking on Megan Muret and Izzy Carey. Carey and Muret with the advantage 9-7 for the moment, but that point won at the net by Doehrmann. Pardon me, Sproule up there at the net.
Yeah, Sproule, 6 foot, good jumper. I was very impressed with her athleticism in the first round. Did a lot of nice things and very, very patient in her approach. Really good hitter. So Utah starting to score some points from the bad side, making good plays.
Oh, good shot off the hands and in. Another point for Carey and Muret under the guidance of Stein Metzger, 6th year. After initially volunteering on the indoor side and then picking up the beach program as it came along, He was Coach of the Year last year and has continued that climb. It really has been a steady 6-year climb for the Bruins, from an upstart program all the way to the #1 team in the nation. And it didn't even bother him, Mike. There was some question, even internally with the program, when they received that #1 ranking for the first time a couple of short weeks ago, how would the team react? And they have not missed a beat.
No, they have not. And if anything, they've just upped the ante a little bit. All the players seem to be just as focused, just as driven to maintain that spot as it was to catch and get it. So a special group of players right now, and they're on a roll.
And a special guy coaching him, Stein Metzger, an outstanding player in his own right, indoors and then on the beach. His #1 Bruins leading early.
Station.
Pac-12 Beach Volleyball is brought to you by State Farm, here to help life go right. Things went right for the home side as they were victorious and stay in the winner's bracket. One duel ago. Now the Utah Utes have the 4s and the 5s out there facing off with the #1 team in the nation, the UCLA Bruins. 31-3, the record for UCLA, coming in a remarkable 25-1 for Megan Muret and Izzy Carey at the 5 spot. What reliability at that 5's position, knowing you're going to get a win to start these duels.
Yep. Every point is the same, right? So if your 5s are delivering you points every bout, it just puts you that closer to winning each one. It's a nice feeling.
Good left-handed pickup, but just out of reach of her partner. Hustling was Muret. Freshman out of Encinitas, California, one of the lovely beach towns down the southern coast of the state. Just out of the reach of Sproule.
Yeah, it seems, you know, USC enjoyed Clays and Hughes having a super powerful #1 team. But I think as this sport continues to evolve, it's going to be the depth that really separates programs and really is what's going to create the powerhouse teams, is the ones that all the way through their lineup can be great.
Yeah, and that has been the deal with UCLA this year, Mike.
So.
To your point, they can beat you at any spot on any day.
Yep. Because the McNamara twins at 1 are very skilled, but not physically dominant. So, you know, they're not like a Clays and a Hughes that they're going to go on and win, you know, X number of matches in a row and over years or whatever, but they are such a great team, and then you put them together with 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and everyone can play. It's really, it's fun to see this team develop.
There's a look at where they've been in terms of the pairs, who's played at those spots. They're the only team in the nation to have 1 and 2 play all of that with one partnership. And the 5s, of course, so dominant. This is a team that last lost to Pepperdine back on March 3rd. And there's a Pair of the Week honor back on March 13th for Carey and Muret. And in fact, at the 5 spot, they're the only pair to pick up that honor playing out of that position. It's interesting to think of, Mike, when you think 1 through 5, think of the 5 as the worst pair. But that's not necessarily the case. It's the matchup.
You can't think of them as the worst when they're, you know, winning 30 matches in a season or whatever. You know,
they're starters.
Yep.
That's what they are.
Yep.
And they're starting to creep away here in the first set, 16-13 for Carey and Muret.
No touch.
Make it 17.
Ready for option.
Quick update on the other matchup. They continue to work on Berkeley Oblad, do the servers of UCLA, and the score is 18-11. Bruins leading. Zappia and May. Another tough serve, and it's 19. So that matchup looking like it's going UCLA's way. Can UCLA continue to extend here in the 5s?
Deep line. Go, go, go. Out.
That poke is out of bounds, and it will be an extension of the lead there at the 5s pair. As we do take a look in on the number 4s, there it is, 19-11.
And McNamara, we're just seeing their screen now, but McNamara has served 3 straight jump serves in a row, just beating the ball cross court.
Didn't get enough topspin on that one.
Never fails. So right now 4 and 5 for UCLA, looking pretty darn tough.
Oh, what a play that time by Berkeley Oblad.
Berkeley did a really nice job of coming off the block, spinning, and just knocking it over on 2.
We're trying to hit that tough serve that Oblad is known for indoors. Henderson, Nevada native miss, but that one's with the wind. Something tells me going the other way, that could be deadly.
So Zappia get the first win. Game 1.
Easy fashion, 21-13. And now it is set point over here once again. Set point number 2 for Carey and Muret. We shouldn't be surprised by the dominance of the Bruins. We've seen it much of this year.
Steinmetzger during the side change, getting in a few pointers. And there's the missed serve and the first set to UCLA.
Now the number 1 team in the nation playing like it with the 4s and the 5s. They are up 1-0 at both of those spots. Bruins making their home on the farm right now. UCLA Bruins, the number 1 team in the nation, leading the Utah Utes 1-0 on both the 4 and the 5 matchup here at Stanford. Kevin Barnett alongside Olympic silver medalist Mike Dodd. We'll look at all the action that's happening as both teams are back out on court. We will rejoin the 4s, who we started this matchup with, Oblad and Gauta, taking on Zappia and Anae. McNamara had an outstanding freshman season indoors, and the plan was always to be a part of the beach team as well. One of the things she wanted to do coming out of Dubuque, Iowa.
Good plan. I like it. Again, she's got that little dink shot over the block and down the line wired. That is McNamara back to serve that jumpy that she was having so much success with in the first set. And again, just
her control has really improved. Her touch.
I mean, for you know, a big quote-unquote indoor hitter, she's doing a lot of beach-savvy shots and very composed in her attack, which just makes her that much tougher. And that looked like it caught the line off the top of the net.
Mike, in the Hatfields versus the McCoys, or beach versus indoor, it seems sometimes from players on the indoor side, I'll hear them talk about the beach, and they complain about beach people thinking there's some sort of genius to playing beach volleyball, some sort of aura that's uncapturable that you couldn't possibly have if you only played indoor volleyball. But they seem to ignore the fact that everybody played indoor volleyball to start with, basically.
Exactly. And you know, I mean,
rare is the Sean Rosenthal.
I'm an old guy who played a ton of beach, but you know, I played 4 years of indoor in Italy. I played volleyball in college. I played on the national team, and I loved playing indoor. Yeah. It's not like indoor volleyball is some kind of a you know, the devil or something. You know, indoor volleyball played at its highest levels is as great a sport and as fun to play with 6 guys. You know, that are all on the same page and working as a unit. It's as good as it gets. It's just beach volleyball. You know, they've always maybe been the stepchild with the chip on their shoulder. You know, the sport that maybe would get less attention, especially within our federation. You know, and funding and whatever the thing may be, but. You know, they're both great sports.
Well, little known
to be
fact,
long-winded.
Little known fact, Mike. Actually, indoor volleyball run by Mephistopheles, gentleman's name. McNamara turned back by Oblad.
And let's see what that block does. Maybe that's going to be something that really gets Arizona going, because UCLA really had their way.
Net violation missed here.
Yeah, it looked like a little left forearm on the net.
We got line over. Come on, middle high.
Another good defense.
Come on. Here we go. Let's go.
Good idea, but just a miss from Gauta.
Yep.
The put away from Izzy Carey. She'll stay to block. Muret at the line to serve. 6-3.
So when she's got the wind, McNamara whips that jump serve, and with the wind at her back, she goes with the floaty. That time just a little deep. But she still puts a lot of pace on it, even from the bad side.
Checking in on the fives, Carey and Muret carrying momentum out of that first, 6-4. The lead in the second. And Zappia with a bad pass. So Berkeley Oblad and her partner Laura Gauta are now up. Good job rebounding after a tough first set, 21-13. See if they can take advantage of being on the good side. It's all going their way at the moment.
And then you change sides.
Here comes the real test.
So again, it's interesting. You've got the rally scoring, you got the wind swirling, and even though May and Zappia are down 8-6, they get one side out, and boy, they're right back at it.
Brenda Wicker in her first year as Utah Beach Volleyball head coach, just a second year of the program. They took some lumps in year one. They're taking a few here in year two, 4-10 this year, but again, just starting up. JJ Van Niel handled the duties last year. He's now associate head coach. Let me not sell him short at USC under the new head coach, Brent Crouch. So that left room for Brenda Wicker to come in and take over. She actually has an assistant who's only in her second year with beach volleyball. Beth Lanier, you might have heard that name before. She's coached a couple of years
indoor. Kind of a greenhorn.
Yeah. Inexperienced is what some would say.
Yeah.
And she actually was in the booth the first match of the day, or the first duel of the day. 29 years it will be in the fall for Beth Lanier.
Just a class act as well. What a wonderful person.
Yeah, Beth Lanier's been in the game so long that she has Danny Barton, who we'll see later at the ones for Utah. And Beth coached Danny's mother when her mother played at Utah.
Sure, Beth appreciates that.
No, it's a distinguished career for Big Air Beth.
All right, so let's see how Utah handles this side. If they can get a couple side outs, it's going to help their confidence, help them really try to make something of this second set.
McNamara puts it on top and cleaned up by Oblad. There you go, side out on May's serve.
Hung in there. Had a couple shaky ball control plays, but hung in there and managed to get the point.
And here comes the win. Choosing to serve Zappia.
And that's just a really nice pass from Zappia, getting behind that ball and really driving it up to the net so that set goes up and down in this wind. Keep things simple.
I'm hearing the contact from Zappia. It sounds very crisp.
Yep, very crisp. Tough serve, tough floater. Good, good.
Technical timeout has UCLA back up, but just one in the second set.
World might just see us just some athletes who just...
Pac-12 Network.
Back with our State Farm Get to a Better State. It has been the service game of UCLA, particularly Elise Zappia and McNamara. Working on Berkeley Oblad. What a way to set a tone, get some easy points, Mike Dodd.
The wind right now really picking up here in the later afternoon, and May and Zappia really taking advantage of the good side. What you need to do as a great team, 16-3 on the year, getting it done in the fours.
Here's Elise Zappia. Now on the bad side. This is where Utah scored a few points last time, and they get an easy side out there. Smartly poked over the top by Gauta. Right down the middle goes Zappia with the line no one call from her partner.
Yep, great serve receive and great little spank right down the middle. Low, controlled, good stuff.
May's missed a couple of floaters on this side with that wind at her back.
Yep. Takes time to figure out all the little nuances of beach, but that is a big time hit right there. High over a big block. Good stuff.
May at 6 foot. Plays a little bit bigger, but plays outside hitter indoors.
Yep.
Play some opposite. Opportunity to spend some time on the wing. It's not a big middle coming out. Berkeley Oblad getting many fewer touches on the ball during indoor season. Touched by May, and that one's well out of bounds, but still trailing by 2 are the Utah Utes. This is the 5th matchup of the day of what is 6 duels that we're offering you here on the Pac-12 Network. We'll be back tomorrow with 6 more. And we will have the afternoon shift. Anne-Marie Anderson and Holly McPeak will take you through breakfast and brunch. And Mike Dodd and I will be here for lunch and an early dinner, if you wish.
And happy hour.
That's right.
Another deep serve out.
Now to the timeout, first point.
3 days of play, ending with this double elimination format, a champion on Saturday. May taking a little off at that time. She's missed a couple now in service.
16 on court 2.
Maybe just get back to being aggressive. Zappia goes down the line listening to the advice of her partner.
Zappia's really getting up well. She's not just kind of shooting it around. She's getting on top of the ball and really putting some pace on it.
Elise Zappia likes to cook and listen to vinyl records. So if I have Pink Floyd Animals, what should I be eating? That's what I wonder, Elise. I'm looking for a recommendation. Is it a burger? Is it a pork loin? I don't know. Maybe a vegetarian dish?
Maybe some tofu. Good pass.
Nice shot from Berkeley Oblad.
Good job by Berkeley there. Good pass, good shot, seeing the court.
At 15-18.
Oblad and Gauta hanging close at 15-18. They're going to need a few points. There's a quick way to get them. Oh, putting the wheels on and put it just over. Zappia. Could be a huge momentum point for the Bruins. There it is. What a run. Put that on the highlight reel.
Zappia really unleashing to get to this ball. Go, Mac.
Throw a hashtag 12 best on this one.
This is the one we didn't think she was going to have a chance. And she not only got it over, but got back up to get the over on one. And then the little tapioca.
Continuing the food references in volleyball.
Never really thought much about that, but that's...
Strawberry jam, tapioca. Just don't combine them. Don't go putting like shrimp and tapioca. You're jumbo.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
A good set is butter.
That's true.
Or sauce.
Yeah. Whichever you're in need of.
Yep.
Mac May turns it on 2. And turning it on and winning in 2 are Zappia and May. 21-13, 21-15. Utah hung close for much of the beginning part of that second set. But the Bruins really turned it around. May and Zappia score the first point for the #1 team in the nation. They are up 1-0 on Utah. So the 4s are done. Put that one in the books in straight sets. Back to the 5s. Carey Muret definitely in control at 18 and now make it 11. That one popped over deep, unable to run it down is UCLA.
Utah's gotten a couple quick points. Doehrmann and Sproule.
At 18-12, it would take a lot to come back here.
Yep.
And make it exponentially more at 19-12.
Muret with a nice little choppy back to the line. Carey and Muret, we mentioned it before, 29-5 right now, looking for their 30th win on the season. Really nice thing to have in your fives. Some steady, excellent volleyball players.
Another smart shot from number 15, Megan Muret. If you've watched her on the Pac-12 Network at all this year, playing for Steinmetzger, you have seen a bevy of experienced shots. Match point.
Just a freshman.
Overpass generated and put away by Izzy Carey. Another victory. 30 wins overall for this crew. And perhaps more importantly, a 2-0 lead over Utah. UCLA just one away with the number ones on the way. Nicole and Megan McNamara, the twins, they're at number one for the number one team in the nation. We will have the number ones on the way. More volleyball, Bruins, Utes.
For free at ZipRecruiter.com/Pac12.
UCLA Bruins up 2-0, having won at the 4 and the 5 Pac-12 Beach Volleyball Championship from Stanford. Wind calm for the moment, but it has been a stiff cold breeze through much of the afternoon, and that was blowing all over the Utah Utes. We go from the 4s and 5s on to the 1s. Kevin Barnett alongside Olympic and beach volleyball legend Mike Dodd. We now watch Anae, number 14, an outstanding indoor and outdoor athlete against the Bruins, along with her partner, Danny Barton. They will take on Nicole McNamara and Megan McNamara, 13 and 31. One left-handed, one right-handed, one black eye watch, and another one with a white one. You figure out who is who. Good luck. Hope they wear numbers. That's the only thing that makes it possible here.
Yeah, and Anae and Barton have the size and physicality that could give these twins a little something to think about. But there's the nice ball control into the wind, snapping down the line.
Talking with the twins this morning, and they said everything is keyed off of their serve. That when things are going well for them in a match, they're serving aggressively all the time. If they back off a little bit, that's where they run into trouble. So watch good side, bad side if they continue to serve with the same aggressiveness. Anae. Anae is almost a silent killer, especially indoors. It looks like she's not moving too much. She's not that fast, and she has 31 kills.
And she's a really good passer, too. So, you know, she just needs time. She could be as good as she wants to be in beach volleyball. She just, time will tell where she ends up. She could end up going to work with Carey in the national team, or she could train her eyes on the beach. It's up to her. She's got a lot of good options, a lot of talent. It's a great pass.
Yeah, Anae makes these outstanding passes when she doesn't necessarily have her feet all the way there, stretching that platform out, using her length.
Ball came down the front of the net. I don't know if Anae touched it. You see the UCLA blocker trying to get the referee to make a touch on the net call. No such luck.
So this is Megan McNamara back to serve, the right-handed player. Oh, a little inside-out action from Nicole.
Real nice dig from Nicole, dropping off the net, and that's where the Twins can just eat you up. As soon as you make a ball control error and that set gets 2 or 3 feet off the net, they drop and they gobble everything up. And that was just a very, very nice defensive play in transition.
Megan McNamara checked her Apple Watch on the way across. I don't know if she just got an email or a text mid-match. I know her parents are here, so it wasn't coming from them. There's a block. At 5'9" apiece, they still play bigger at the net.
Yeah, they do it all.
5-3.
They take an area. They're the kind of blockers, you don't see a lot of penetration on that block, just a good area. They're the kind of blockers that remind me of old school beach blockers that had strong hands and would take an area, and if you made a mistake, if you dropped your arm, they'd get you, you know, and otherwise you can kind of get up and get around them because they're not intimidating like a Dalhouser. They're not up and over and penetrating, but they're the kind of blockers that take a spot, get soft touches, and as soon as you drop your arm and make a mistake, they'll make you pay for it.
Ron Von Hagen. Jim Menges, am I saying that right? Menges? Menges, okay. I can't remember if it was Menges or Menges. See 2 guys digging in the sand by some big bombers just light it up.
There you see Nicole McNamara with a lefty chopping cross court from the bad side down the line. That's a really good serve.
Goes right back to it this time to the other side of Anae, but the result is the same.
So you said it, Kevin. They make their hay with their serve, and they're getting after it right now.
Pokey out of bounds, again off balance with that service. Watch this group play against USC and take out USC at UCLA earlier. McNamara's had 5 aces in the first set against Abril Bustamante and her partner, Tina Graudina. And 10-4 now the score. We will get a timeout and a side change. Now, I thought there was a timeout call, but just a side change opportunity to check in with Brenda Wicker. Look at the McNamara's record, just how dominant they have been. 2016, maybe a learning year for them as freshmen. They spent a lot of time at that number 1.
Yep.
Oh, another tough serve. Anae with the right idea, just missed it a bit long.
So we watched the young Bowen for Stanford putting so much pressure on a team with her block, and now we see these McNamara twins putting pressure on a very good team with really tough serving.
And excellent transition swinging, perfectly done over Anae into the last centimeter of the court.
Right on the back part of the line here, perfect set. Doinka.
And you have to go with centimeters because the McNamaras are from Canada. Also, if you do mention money, it will be loonies and toonies. That's such a loony play. Now McNamara is leading 12-5 early on at the number 1 spot. UCLA already up 2-0. And there you see a play. And this is one thing, in talking to them this morning, they said the biggest change we've had this year is our ability to run plays and change the tempo of our attack.
Well, when you've got the ball control, the passing and the hand setting, sky's the limit. And so that just puts it on Anae and Barton to step up their serving game and put a little more pressure on the Twins.
Now they are painting the back line at the moment.
Yeah, they're clicking on all cylinders right now. Everything is going their way, and again, you mentioned it at the start. It all begins with their serve, and their serve is just giving Utah fits right now.
That's the 3rd shot I can remember in the last few that have all been right on the back line.
Right on the line, and a great serving, not just from the good side. They ran off slews of points from the bad side, still hitting the aggressive, tough jump serves.
Excellent point.
Just snapping on top of the ball, doing a great job.
Just how good is Anae indoors? Well, how about that? Number one, 1,900 kills. And she's partnered with somebody who I think knows how to kill the ball, and her coach, Brenda Wicker. Almost.
Right there.
Yep, 1,500 plus.
Yeah, pretty cool.
And a second-generation player in this three-way discussion. Let's take a look at Anae and what she could do. If you've watched Pac-12's coverage of indoor volleyball, you have seen a lot of Anae. Sizzling, crushing, passing, doing it all for her team.
All time, all time, all time.
And you mentioned it, she will get a look indoors for the national team in one fashion or another. It'll be interesting to see what choice she makes in terms of her future. Does she go play professionally overseas? Does she give beach volleyball a chance with the skills that she has? Things there are changing a little bit with the national team programming. There is a national team beach coach, Tyler Hildebrandt, now running full programming there. So there are a lot more options than there used to be in terms of getting included.
Number 1 point to the Utes.
You don't have to go down to 16th Street or Marine Street or the Pier or 2nd and just hope to get some games with somebody.
Yeah, things get set up.
We've hit the technical timeout, 21 points on the board, but 14 of them belong to UCLA. They're already up 2-0.
Network, where champions play.
Utah Utes with a mountain to climb, trying to face the number one team in the nation, the UCLA Bruins. They're down 2-0 in this best-of-5 duel. They lost at the 4 and the 5. Currently coming out for more action at the number 1 spot. The McNamara twins, Nicole and Megan, 13 and 31. They have been outstanding to start this matchup. They lead 14-7 over Anae and Danny Barton. Barton can't get a hold of that one and blocking at the net. In fact, Danny Barton, her preference was to play at UCLA coming out of high school. That was her first choice, but things did not work out in terms of the indoor side and beach combination that she wanted. She ended up at Utah, and her mom tells me she's extremely happy there, having an outstanding experience, although right now it is a tough task facing the McNamara twins.
Another ace from the bad side, coffin corner. Kind of hard to stop that one.
Cutting that one across the wind.
Yep.
A left-handed Nicole. And a nice crisp contact. Boy, I love that sound from Megan.
Yep. All set up with another great serve. I'm really impressed with how much pace they can still put on the ball and snap it into the court with so much wind behind them. That one sails out, but that's the first one. One error, and with all these aces and all these unforced errors that their serve's been causing, that is very impressive.
Anae with a nice overhand dig. Can she convert? Just long.
Volleyball's a funny game, and it's been coming so easy for the McNamara twins in this first set. I wouldn't be surprised to see Utah settle down and see Anae and Barton do a lot better in the second set. They just need to get a couple plays, get their confidence back, and, you know, kind of regroup. But it happens a lot in volleyball where a team can just get blown out in the first and then come back and win the second.
How many times do you fault the team that did the blowing out for relaxing? Or do you give credit to the other side?
I'd say about 80%. 80% is a lapse by the team that put the hammer down in the first set.
Well, that hammer has definitely been put down Thor style here in the first set of UCLA and Utah. 19-9. And we've seen it all sorts of different ways. We've seen serves, we've seen transition kills, we've seen blocks from the pair of 5'9" Bruins.
And shots hitting the top of each line on the court. Really impressive.
The wind once again picking up, even a little more of a crosswind now. And Anae gets none of it there. That ball sails way out.
Yep.
So we're at set point. Can UCLA keep it at single digits? Just missed in transition, so we'll have set point number 2. The Twins out of Vancouver, BC. Their parents rolling in about midday here. He said it's great. Mom and Dad did not play volleyball. They don't know really anything about it, so no one's giving me a hard time about what I should have done technically on the floor if things don't go well or in the sand. Oh, back-to-back misses, very similar from both of the Twins. Going for those cut shots and a little short. Third set point. So, Mike, maybe the pedal has come up off the floor even before the end of this first set.
Yep. Well, here's another unforced error. And each one of these points, will Anae and Barton win? No chance. No chance. But every little point that they keep scoring right here can give them a little momentum going into the second set. And there's a missed serve. And let's see how it goes. That was a tough.
So it took 4 set points, but they got it done. 21-12, the final there. Bruins.
So, State Farm.
Pac-12 Beach Volleyball is brought to you by State Farm, here to help life go right. Everything going right for UCLA. They lead 2-0 in the big score, having won at the 4 and the 5. They've already taken the first set at the number 1s, 21-12, in quick fashion, as the other 2 matchups, at the 2 and the 3, are only about midway through the sets. So we'll take some time to check in with another matchup. We'll go down to the 2s here for Tanya Luafaemana and Bailey Choy. That's Luafaemana serving, and she will block, taking on Lily Justine and Sarah Sponcil. Part of that depth you were talking about, Mike Dodd, for UCLA, the excellence of Justine and Sponcil.
Yeah, it just keeps rolling. That time Justine just chopping down the line. Knows how to play in the wind. Sarah Sponcil played in numerous world under-19s, under-21s. Just so much experience, great indoor and out. So mentally tough.
Yeah, an outstanding indoor hitter, led the LMU offense when she was there, then transferred over to UCLA and was supposed to play some libero till Mike Seeley saw her set one time.
Yeah,
you're going to have a different role for us.
Yep, that was straight to the setting spot. Took about 60 seconds of the first practice of the year.
That's right, and 30 of those seconds were Mike walking towards her.
With the decision already made.
Exactly. So her partner, Lily Justine, also has been outstanding this year, the sophomore out of Chico. Played at the number 5 last year with Savvy Simo.
Right now, Justine and Sponcil working on a 27-7 record. So solid.
We hope that Lily Justine is able to focus on this match, because at the conclusion of this match, she will have to go take a midterm in genetics.
Oof.
Directly. So maybe you want to win a little slower. I don't know, put it off a little bit, or maybe you feel like you're ready, you did all your studying, let's get this over with, let's get right to it. They actually had to fly out a proctor for today's exam for Lily Justine. So, Lily, good luck on your exam after this.
Absolutely.
Trying to make it as quick as possible. They've really extended here now, 18-9. Make it 10 on the missed serve from Sponcil. Yeah, Sarah Sponcil, her coach characterized her as perhaps the best player in the nation, and I've seen both indoors and out some remarkable plays from number 4.
Yep. So mentally tough, so eager to learn, just always wanting to get better. All the great players share that in common.
Well, at 5'10" as a defender, I mean, how big of a factor could she be if she wanted to play beach professionally?
I think she could be one of the best.
That's going to be a big defender coming at you.
Yep. Well, just those added inches help in the transition phase of it. You know, it's The greatest defenders are the ones that can defend and then finish up after.
Think about
Choy with a nice chop down the middle.
Aduda from Brazil.
Yeah.
Big player who plays some defense.
Yep.
Agatha, her partner. Casey Patterson comes to mind on the men's side at 6'5", 6'6", switching to that defender role. There is an absolute rip from Sponcil. Just the body control, the way she positions around the ball.
Just strong.
Set point 1. See if the number 2s can close it out a little quicker than number 1s did.
Save.
And that'll do it. It took just one opportunity to close it out. 21-11, the victory. Much to Steinmetzger's delight as he is coaching the 2s right now. So we're giving you the 1s and the 2s. Let's check in on the 3s, where UCLA now has extended the lead just a bit, 18-13. And this is Kenzie Koerber and Melissa Powell against Savvy Simo and Maddie Yeomans. Simo last year was 15-6, played with 4 different partners.
Great play from the McNamaras. Nicole will be your server at 8-5.
You tight, 1 up. Come on, over, come on. Come on.
And that'll do it for the 20th point in this set. And I mentioned the 4 different partners last year. Well, our partner this year was Zanamuno, and they were Pac-12 Pair of the Week back early part of this month. But Zanamuno actually injured at a tournament up here just a couple of weeks ago, suffered a knee injury, and has not returned.
A chance to watch UCLA practice yesterday. Zanamuno was out there digging, blocking, jumping, doing a lot of extra work, and the initial, I think, diagnosis or prognosis was that she was going to be out for the rest of the year, and now the coaches are optimistic that she might be able to head to the Gulf Shores and help UCLA try to win their first NCAA title.
Well, in her absence, Maddie Yeomans fills in, and it's a 21-14 victory with Savvy Simo. And yeah, another versatile athlete in Zanamuno would be good for the Bruins to get her back if they have hopes of winning a national title.
Yeah, you look at all the way up and down the line between Zappia, Savvy Simo, Zanamuno, Sarah Sponcil. They're all those 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", incredibly strong defenders, great attackers, very athletic. They're a prototype that UCLA is starting to gather in big numbers, and just great prototypes to be beach volleyball players. Again,
that reminds me of the Brazil program. If you look at Brazil over the last few seasons, when they're dominating, sweeping the podium in FIVB events on the beach side on the women's, they have a bunch of players who are 5'10",
yeah,
5'11".
They're not the biggest, tallest of the group, but they can scamper around the court, run everything down, play defense, transition, and they're just tough.
They will
mentally tough. Maybe little chip on their shoulder. You know, it's all those factors. Look at the McNamaras. That, you know, for world level of play, they're undersized, but they don't care. They just go out and get it done. You know, what undersized might become a obsolete word when it, especially with respect to women's volleyball internationally, because the players that are making the most hay right now are not super tall.
Except one, Sarah Powell.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
And Carey Walsh did pretty well for a while at 6'3". So it doesn't hurt, but you've got to be 6'3" and be just as quick as a 5'10" or 5'9" player, and Carey Walsh was certainly that.
He'll be interesting to watch the development of so many players across the Pac-12 and their increased exposure to the sport now and what is possible coming into the national team program. Courtney Bowen, well, you'd love to get a hold of that on the beach and harness that size of block. Nice swing by Barton. Perhaps a little frustration tinged into that one.
Technical timeout, 13-8 on court one.
UCLA in control in the match and in this set.
Beach volleyball, and you're watching Pac-12 Network.
UCLA leads 2-0 over Utah in this best-of-5 duel. 1, 2, and 3 pairs out on court now. And the McNamara twins. Efficient, smothering volleyball is how you described it, Mike Dodd, during the break on their 26-match win streak and in this particular match.
Yeah, they're clicking on all cylinders, and everything's going their way. And again, they're serving great. And when they're serving great, it is just they put so much pressure on their opponents. And right now, they've made it very tough for Anae and Danny Barton out there on the court.
Jeff Alzina comes over from Long Beach State, volunteer assistant coach this season. And I asked the twins who were sitting with Jeff earlier, well, what's he brought? And they said the tempo and the plays. Yeah, the plays, the back sets, the slides, everything moving around, putting pressure on the blockers. Hey, why not? You know, not all the coaches in the nation can implement the kind of plays that UCLA is implementing just because they don't have that high of the skill level and ball control, but UCLA has it. Now Zeno's taken advantage of it, and it's really set them apart. It's really given them a little something special, I think. Well, the McNamaras had wanted to work on more plays, and Steinmetzger said, well, that's fine, you guys can go off and work on that, but they didn't, as a team, work on plays. And when Jeff Alzina came in, he said, no, I think everybody can do this. Everybody can benefit from this experience, and certainly these two have taken it and run with it.
Yep. Yeah, you see everybody running really nice plays. Sponcil sets the ball all over the place. Savvy Simo's got great hands on Amuno as well.
You have to have the athletes to do it, and UCLA does this year. Utah has some outstanding athletes in Barton and Anae. Well, it look like they're finally starting to get a little momentum here, a little positive shift.
You can tell they're just starting to feel a little bit, and they got it up to 11-14 now. So, you know, who knows? They steal a few more points here on the bad side, go over to the good side, and make it go.
Barton pulls, and it's easy pickings for the left-handed Nicole.
Just looks easy. Just great ball control, nice hand, wrist away.
This is a pair who at U19 in Poland went all the way to the silver medal. You've talked about him being, you know, the obsolete term of undersized, but even internationally, they've had success.
Yep. Still serve 5-10. We're at 5-5 on court 3.
And the service game certainly sets these two apart from anybody else that I've seen, certainly from a pair perspective, their ability to both bring it, but their individual level is the highest in the nation. I think if you charted aces in beach volleyball this year, which they don't yet in the fledgling statistic environment that this game has, they would be leading by far.
Yep. Now let's keep an eye on Anae and Barton. They got it to 13-15. They're over on the good side. Let's see what kind of stuff they can come up with right now.
Barton to serve the lefty, Anae at the net. She'll pull, and the Gator's not there. Big touch off of number 14.
That again is just a factor of experience. This is a very good pass with a team with very good ball control, and you just do not want to drop off the net that early and leave it open. I'm sure Adora will learn from each match she plays.
Good over on 2, popped up. Can they get a swing? Yes, they can.
Powell and Koerber.
McNamara's now mixed on the right. Megan with the kill, and you notice it does not matter where they are. You may not even know who it is in front of you.
Great work, great transition, ball control, and their approaches are so strong. Coming the same way every time, whether they're mixing up shots or putting heat on it. It all looks the same, which is makes it very difficult on a defender.
switching sides 9-5 on court 3.
Smartly done on 2, setting one another up, and again, just cranking. Boy, as soon as you noted it, Anae and Barton being close, the McNamaras have quick sprinted.
Just turned it up a notch, right? Even on the bad side, scoring points, making plays happen. Mark of a great team.
Looking into that corner, even on the bad side, serving tough, creating points. It's now 19-13. That score and the end of this set, it appears, will not indicate how close it was just 5 minutes ago.
Nice set over on to Sponcil. Taking our technical timeout at 15.
Oh, big jump in front of the left hand. Well done by Megan McNamara. Set point.
And after this block, Megan turns to Jeff Alzina and gives him a little wink, like maybe he gave her some good info at the last side change.
Set point, match point, and dual point. Another block, indeed. 21-12, 21-13 the scores, and it took just one set, match, and dual point to be closed out. Much different than the first, where it took 4. 27 straight matches. Duels have been won now by the Bruins. 27 straight duels, all the way back to the beginning of March when they lost to Pepperdine, only to avenge that later in the month. And they have been on quite a tear since. It is 3-0 and already decided. The #1 team in the nation moving on. They will face Stanford in our first match, Mike Dodd, tomorrow afternoon at 1:15.
#1 in the nation and looking like it. Just so impressive.
What do you tell these two right now after a match like that?
I mean, you just have to be positive. They had a great win earlier in the day. They ran into just a buzzsaw, a great team playing as well as they can play. I think having a short memory is the best advice on this match. Sure, watch the film, see what you did wrong, see what you can learn, but then move on. You know, you got matches to play, big games to play tomorrow. Go home, get a nice dinner, and get some rest.
Still action to be had on court. We'll move you over to the twos, back to Lily, Justine, and Sarah Sponcil, who had that 21-11 win, and they look to be cruising once again, 16-6 now. Well, this is a team that could play at the ones for so many schools.
Yeah, it just, I mean, the word that keeps popping into my mind is just smothering. They just don't make mistakes. They move well. They cover every inch of the court, and they just keep coming at you. Good shots, good plays, and no mistakes. It smothers you. You don't. Where's the break? There's no.
Where do I go to get a point?
You know, you're used to playing teams that are going to make 3 or 4 errors in a match, and these guys, you know, it's just not going to happen.
Remind me of the 2000 Yugoslavian team that won the Olympic gold medal on the men's side there in Sydney, Australia. Same sort of thing. So efficient, would never let you up when you were their opponent. Would never give you points.
Kept the foot on the throttle.
That genetics midterm is coming soon. It is going to be here quickly after this victory. Another one.
She must be well prepared, because they're not letting this match run any longer than it needs to.
Yeah, 19-year-old Kevin Barnett will be trying to put that one off as long as possible. Might dump a couple of points, serve the ball long a few times. In the irrational plan to have some sort of extra time. There's a scramble, playing a dive, it's still alive. How about the hustle of the Bruins?
Just great effort, though. Wow. You get just the dynamics of Sarah Sponcil and how much ground she can cover. Very impressive.
Oh, that serve is amazing right there. The pick up and dive.
Great pass.
And a net violation against Tony Luafaemana.
20-7 it is. Match point. UCLA.
So match point. Looking like it's going to stay in single digits for the Utah pair. Just missed on the cut shot, and Sponcil, Justine win in straight sets, 11-7.
Thanks, Rev. Thank you. Thanks for repping.
So the Bruins now up 4-0. Remember, 3-0 already won it. One last match to be had. Kenzie Koerber, Melissa Powell. This is the threes. They're in red there in the foreground. Koerber number 4, Powell number 15 facing off. On the other side with Savvy Simo and Maddie Yeomans.
Yeoman with a nice chop down the line.
UCLA just continuing on this side too to pop the ball up and put it back on you. Pop it up, put it back on you.
Yep. Simo does a nice job of just tracking that ball down, that short shot, popping it straight up, giving her partner the option play. Yeoman's just going over with the little knuckle. Chance to tie it up here.
UCLA last year in this tournament all the way to the final against USC. It would be 3-2. USC would move on. And then USC would win their second consecutive national title in 3-2 fashion against Pepperdine University down there in Gulf Shores. National championship will be next weekend, so about 10 days' time. Of course, the men's national championship on the indoor side happening now as well. They'll have start play on Tuesday with the quarterfinal matchup. Then you'll have a semi on Thursday, followed by the national championship on Saturday. That happening at Pauley Pavilion.
Let's go.
Oh, trying to salvage that one out of that, but cannot do it. Simo and Yeomans.
Good drop, tough break. Just unable to control that dig into the net.
Tough serve.
And this has really been the difference in the second set. Utah's really come out serving much tougher.
UCLA right back with the point. We're tied at 16, creeping closer now. It's a 5-point set. Win by 2. There's a block for Yeomans at the net.
Simo with so much positive energy. Love to watch her play. Really throws it all on the line out on the court. That time got caught leaning a little bit the wrong direction, but great defensive player, great heart. Takes heart to play defense, and she's got it, a ton of it.
There's a little back play, followed by a wrist away shot from Yeomans.
Boom.
And we'll have a side switch. Boy, once you see those plays, and I noticed that in watching some of the teams, that when you slide down even outside the top 10 of the nation, still nationally ranked, but you don't see the tempo changes. You don't see the play initiation, especially when trying to get out of trouble. Powell, now a senior, transferred from Houston Baptist to Utah. Was at Central Michigan at one point too. She's toured the United States in her college career. That ball looked long.
Ref's getting down, gonna take a look. Might have just clipped a little bit of it on the way out.
Ooh, that's gonna be close.
It moved.
Yeah, back part of the ball, so that will go to UCLA.
Big point for UCLA. Trying to make all 5 matches a 2-0.
Zappia will jump into the wind. And that one doesn't touch. It's up and out of bounds.
All right, let's see if Simo again goes for the big jumpy from left side to left side.
May, Zappia, and others looking on. Waiting for the conclusion here at the threes. Touch, pokey, and that one was going to land in the deep corner.
Wow, what a save for Powell and Koerber.
So second match point. Back to serve Kenzie Koerber. Yeomans with the touch, this will have to go. Gets a swing, but just long, and we are tied overtime.
You don't think it means much to Melissa Powell? Getting excited back there. Kenzie Koerber the same.
Big chance for the advantage. Yeomans, nicely done with a shorty.
Great drop off the net and defense from Yeomans on that big play for UCLA. Finishing with the little knuckle over. You think she hasn't played some beach volleyball? That's a big time play right there. Nice job.
Tough flat floater. Oh, and Utah has really steadied out at the end of this set, carrying it into extra time.
Yeah, Melissa Powell did a great job. Ball wasn't high enough to really get an approach and a jump, but boy, she placed it in pretty much the only square foot of real estate she could to get a point on that. Great job, great ball control.
Utah gets the good side back. See what they can do with it service-wise. Although the wind kind of shifting around. Almost going the other direction down there, Mike Dodd.
Get up, Liz. One, Mike.
Simo stretches out. And then pokes it deep. What a play.
Great effort. Just love to see her diving all over the court. Does the same as a defensive specialist for the indoor team. Really brings a lot of energy on the court, whether it's hardwood or sand. Got a little amped up there. Wind caught it and pushed it out. Hate to miss that serve for the match. But great character builder. See if you can come back and focus on the very next play.
Coaches love to see these moments. Yeomans gets lucky there, utilizing the equipment.
Great set again from Simo, following it up. Does feel like the wind is all of a sudden, Kevin, coming right in our face, which favors Yeoman and UCLA. Let's see what kind of serve she can get up.
You see the players kicking the sand up. They keep doing that. They're checking it.
It's a tough pass.
Ooh, that was close.
Great
big
set.
Swing in transition. How about how far Savvy Simo went?
Back line to front line, and finishing strong. That was a great roll, little roll set from Maddie Yeomans right into the sweet spot. And Simo delivered for the 5-0 for UCLA.
So UCLA had already moved on, but they do it in fine fashion. The only 5-0 of the winner's bracket today. UCLA and Stanford will meet tomorrow in our first match with Mike Dodd, Kevin Barnett at 1:15 in the afternoon. Next up, we'll have our only elimination match of the entire day. Oregon taking on Arizona State. Is UCLA vulnerable anywhere, Mike Dodd?
I don't see it. They got some pretty solid armor on right now, and you know, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see as the tournament progresses.
Atmosphere coming tomorrow, UCLA and Stanford, but an elimination match up next. Don't go away. Oregon, Arizona State coming your way. Pac-12 Beach Volleyball Championship.